Hey, it's Tom Frank from tomfrankart.wordpress.com with Theme Sketchbook Vlog Update number 6. It's been a while. The last update I gave was after Big Wow Comic Fest in San Jose, and it's now the beginning of August. So that was a long time since we haven't given an update. The reason for that is I lost this cord to the video camera that you're looking at, and I had to get a backup one. So I had no power for my camcorder, but now I do. So we're back. We have a lot to catch up. The 3 sketchbooks have a lot of activity. Sketchbook number 1 has 82 pages, and 74 of those pages are now filled. That one's almost done, but I'm really going to try and slow it down and take my time with that one. Sketchbook number 2, the big one, now has 109 pages of evil giant robots out of 345. So long way to go on that one. And sketchbook number 3 now has 43 pages out of 111. So that one's zipping along as well. The first update that I will give will be for sketchbook number 3. When I last finished the update for update number 5, all 3 sketchbooks were gone. I had none of them. Right now, 2 of them are in my possession. The 3rd one is out. And that one was sketchbook number 3, which was sent back to me by Mike Parisi from the Bay Area, and 5 drawings were in that, including one from him. They were all great. They were all different. They really added a lot to this project in terms of different approaches to evil giant robots. Then I took that sketchbook and immediately went to a signing at Barnes & Noble that Michael Dante DiMartino was at, who's one of the creators of Avatar. And he did a quick sketch in there of a cute robot that is evil as well, and it was great to get him. His partner, Brian Kay, I can't pronounce his last name, who co-creator of Avatar, they're going to be doing a book signing together at the same place on August 15th. So I will bring one of the sketchbooks there to try and get the pair. I took the sketchbook number 3, that was the only one I had in my possession at the end of June, to BotCon in San Diego. BotCon is a rotating convention, a Transformers convention, and there's a lot of great Transformers artists there. The only one that I wanted to get that I didn't was Alex Milne. He was just too busy. I was thinking about going back on Sunday for day 2, but I just couldn't do it. And day 1 that I was there, with 1 sketchbook, I got 6 drawings, and the timing just worked out, just one artist to another. Marcelo Marter did a great one, but probably the most surprising one was Casey Collar, who really just knocked it out of the park. He liked the project. I just gave him money for a head sketch, but he really got involved and really went above and beyond, and you get that. The one thing that you can't control in this project is inspiration. And these were all people who drew robots for a living, and it was just great to add them to the sketchbook. Then Anime Expo. I still had 1 sketchbook. I think maybe that's not true. Maybe just before Anime Expo, I got back sketchbook number 1 in the mail from Mary Azarian, Caldecott winner for Snowflake Bentley, and she did this amazing robot dragon. And just the fact that she drew a robot is such a surprise, and she loved doing the project. She couldn't have been an artist. She never would have drawn a robot on her own. So it was, she got a kick out of doing this. So I went to BotCon, I got 4 sketches. I got another one from an artist. I broke the rules here at Anime Expo. Tsuyoshi Nanaka, who I got an original robot from last August. He was at Anime Expo, and my favorite evil giant robot is the final enemy robot from Getter Robo G. I think it might be called Gattai Hyakiju, or Gattai Mecha Oni. And I brought reference to him because he's so incredible. And he's a professional robot drawer, and he did a great rendering of this character, which I love. But then Toshio Maeda was there, who is known for Legend of the Overfiend, which was sort of what broke hentai. It made hentai really big. And I explained the project to him that I didn't want anything sexual, and he got it, and he gave me a masterpiece. And he used Zipatone in the drawing, which is the first time I've ever seen that done in this project. So it was great to get him, and a real standout. In the 226 drawings that I have, his is definitely one of the best, top 10 at least. Then sketchbook number 2 came back in the mail from Rebecca Emberley. And her father, Ed Emberley, Caldecott winner, just really too busy to get him to do a drawing. And that's a real shame. I'm really trying to get Caldecott winners, and he was a great one. But I needed Sketchbook back for San Diego Comic-Con. I needed it, and I couldn't just let her continue to have it. So she did a great mixed media piece, gluing in an evil giant robot, and it's a wonderful addition to this project, different than anything else that's in there. So I went to Comic-Con. Comic-Con, very successful for me. And there was an auction the day before Comic-Con started for a lunch and a sketch from Dave Gibbons, the artist on Watchmen. And I've wanted him for a long time. He's tough to get. I won the auction. I had a friend go in my place on Friday, have lunch with him, got a sketch of an evil giant robot. It was weird. He had to think about it. He's like, what am I supposed to draw here? Even though he did a lot of robots, back in the day before Watchmen, late 70s, early 80s, I think Robusters was something that he did for the fanzine, not Heavy Metal, that turned into ABC Warriors. But he did a great one, and then I went to Comic-Con with the other 2 sketchbooks, and my friend gave sketchbook number 1 back to me. So for the first time in a long time, I had all 3 sketchbooks going, I think since April. I had them in my possession. Sketchbook number 1, had Dave Gibbons, and I went to the Hero Initiative booth, and George Perez was doing a signing, or sketching there, and I had him do a head sketch of Red Ronin, who he did in Avengers 199, or maybe 198 and 199, and it was great to get him. He's a legend. And then I took sketchbook number 1, or sketchbook number 2, to Adi Granov, and I was on his backup list, and he was too busy. He couldn't get to me, so Adi Granov did not happen, and he's just such a hot artist right now. So, but he's going to be around. He's going to be at the New York Comic-Con, and he'll be back at Emerald City next year. So I can still keep trying to get him. And then I got a fantasy painter, and I'd seen his stuff, although he wasn't there, at WonderCon, named Alex Horley. And I knew that he was a fan of an anime show from the 70s, Steel Jeeg, which I'm a fan of as well. So when I give people direction, they tend to respond very favorably. I said, draw an enemy of Jeeg, something that Jeeg would fight. And he came up with an amazing robot. I mean, just in terms of like what this project really is, what the assignment, when I first came up with it, he just hit the nail on the head. And he went above and beyond. He actually drew Hiroshi, who turns into Jeeg, and his ship, Big Shooter, like coming in the background, and Hiroshi's pose is very majestic, and it's a great, great drawing. And then I had that one, I had sketchbook number 2 going with Alex Horley, sketchbook number 3 going with Jose Delbo, an Argentinian artist who did some Transformers stuff back in the day. And they were both taking their time with it, and then I went into a signing and I got Ashley Wood for free. He doesn't normally do sketchbooks, but I explained the project to him, and he's just like a really hot, fine artist. I mean, forget, comic book artist, he's a big deal. So getting him in the sketchbook project is a huge score. And then I ran into a friend who handles Nick Pitara, who does the Manhattan Project and did Red Wing, and a really heavy detail artist, and I love his stuff. And he's now repped by a friend of mine, and I didn't know that. And he took the sketchbook overnight and really just knocked it out of the park. Great, great drawing. I think I got a total of 13 drawings at the 2 days that I was at the San Diego Comic-Con, including the Friday that my friend went in my place. So that was, a big victory for me. I've now got 10 Eisner winning Best Artists and 15 or 16 to go. And they're going to be tough. But 10 is a big accomplishment, and I feel really good about that. Caldecott winners with Mary Azarian, I'm up to 6. Yesterday, I'm going to jump ahead, back and forth. Yesterday, I did go to the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators summer conference, and David Wiesner was there, who's won the Caldecott 3 times. And in listening to his lecture, he's really labor intensive in all of his drawings, and he's very critical of how he's perceived, and he wasn't comfortable doing it. He says, I can't draw on the spot, I need time in my studio. And he said no, so that's a setback. Another, I was hoping to get Ed Emberley, and he was too busy. Hoping to get David Wiesner, couldn't get him. I have gotten emails back from Eric Roman and Emily Arnold McCulley, who have both expressed interest in doing it. And I can't wait to get more emails from them and just mail them, the sketchbooks. Caldecott winners are very tough to get. So there was a guy at Anime Expo that I met who was selling sketchbooks, and he had a sketchbook that was every other page was vellum, so you could do the rough drawing on the first page and then trace over it with your tight lines. And he had some great robot stuff. And I asked him if he would do it, and he said yes. And he's a teacher at Art Center in Pasadena, huge, prestigious school. And this past week I dropped sketchbook number 3 off to him, and he knows a lot of different people. His brother, who do some stuff for Hasbro and work at Hawken video games, so he might try and get a number of different artists to do pages. But if he just does one, that's a huge score in and of itself. So, I almost forgot the biggest one of all. After trying for 5 times to get Guillermo del Toro, he was doing a signing at a bookstore in Glendale, and I went there a few days before and I got him. Finally got Guillermo del Toro. This is the summer of giant robots. Pacific Rim comes out. Everyone's talking about it. It's doing great overseas. It's a disappointment here. But this is the summer that giant robots were given their chance. And the guy at the head of all that is now part of the project. And he was on his way to Japan to promote the film. So in terms of the story of this project, it's just very exciting that, he might be the biggest deal that I've got in this whole thing. And just the timing of it is very memorable as well. And I'm just going to keep moving forward. And hopefully the updates will be faster than this. I know this has been a long one, so thanks for, bearing with us. But evil giant robots, march on!